കേന്ദ്രമന്ത്രിയും ബി.ജെ.പി. നേതാവുമായ നിർമ്മലാ സീതാരാമൻ്റെ ഭർത്താവായ പരകാല പ്രഭാകർ ഇന്ന് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തുണ്ട്. തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം നിയമസഭയുടെ സാഹിത്യ ഉത്സവത്തിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം വന്നത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും പുതിയ പുസ്തകത്തെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ചർച്ച ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. മാത്രമല്ല ആ പുസ്തകത്തിൻ്റെ മലയാള പരിഭാഷ കൂടി പുറത്തിറക്കിയിട്ടുമുണ്ട്. മലയാള പരിഭാഷ ധനകാര്യ മന്ത്രി കെ.എൻ. ബാലഗോപാലും പിന്നെ CPM-ൻ്റെ സംസ്ഥാന സെക്രട്ടറി അംഗം എം സ്വരാജും പിന്നെ വി.കെ. പ്രസാദ് MLA അടങ്ങിയ ഒരു ചടങ്ങിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ടാണ് മലയാള പരിഭാഷ പുറത്തിറക്കിയത്. അതിനൊപ്പം തന്നെ അദ്ദേഹം ഇന്ന് സംസാരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ സംസാരം കേൾക്കേണ്ടത് തന്നെയാണ്. കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാരിനെ കുറിച്ച് വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് തന്നെ അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. കൃത്യം പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാര്യയായ നിർമ്മലാ സീതാരാമൻ്റെ പാർട്ടിയായിട്ടുള്ള ബി.ജെ.പിയെയും ബി.ജെ.പിയുടെ കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാരിനെയും എയറിലെത്തിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹം.
People ask me, Parakala, you wrote this book criticizing the government, criticizing everything wrong that is being done by the central government. Don't you see anything good at all? Are you so blind? I must say a few words in response to this kind of a criticism. Sir, if you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you that there is something wrong with your heart or with your gallbladder or with your lungs, you don't come out of the doctor's room stamping your feet and say, look, what kind of a negative fellow is this? My ears are wonderful, my eyes are good, my hands are very strong, my legs are wonderful, everything is fine, but okay, I have a little problem with my heart, and this man points out only that. The doctor's job is to tell you what is wrong with you. And my job is to tell the Republic, tell the government where it is going wrong and what wrong is it committing. I'm not going to come out and say, this is wonderful, that is wonderful, this is wonderful, that is wonderful. There are so many people in this country who are doing that kind of a bhajan. There are so many people. I'm not there to join that kind of a bhajana mandali. One. The second thing they say, okay, you're sitting very comfortably and telling all the problems. What are the solutions? You have to tell me the solutions also, isn't it? Then I say, I can find out what is going wrong. I may not know the solutions. I am not an expert in solutions. But just because I do not know the solution, I cannot come up with the solution. That should not prevent me from being critical when I see something wrong. And people tell me one more thing. You have to be impartial. You have to be even-handed. You have to be fair. When you see something good, say it is good. When you see something bad, say it is bad. Then people will respect you. If you say only that which is wrong, that is not being fair. But sir, I tell you, in order to be called impartial by some vague group, I do not have to balance my criticism by once in a while praising also. That is not my job. My job is to say, as a citizen of this country, what is wrong in our public life, what is impacting us negatively in our republic. That is the task that I had given myself. That is what I have done. There's one more set of people who ask me, if not this person, you tell me who is the alternative? Alternative is to be decided not by PARAKALAPRABHAKAR or Shamsir or anybody. 140 crore people of this country will decide who is the alternative. They will have to decide. I don't have to decide. I don't have to say. And I don't have to have a ready-made answer as an alternative in order to point out what is wrong. That is my democratic right, to point out what is wrong if something is going wrong. I don't have to be ready with an alternative. I don't have to be ready with solution. I don't have to be sometimes praise and sometimes criticize. No. It is a straight critique of what is wrong.
അത് ഇതിനൊപ്പം തന്നെ പറയുന്ന പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട മറ്റൊരു കാര്യം കൂടിയുണ്ട്. 2014 BJP അധികാരത്തിൽ എത്തിയതിനു ശേഷം ഒരുപാട് പദ്ധതികൾ പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചിരുന്നു. ഇന്ത്യയുടെ മുഖം മാറ്റാൻ ഉതകുന്ന പദ്ധതികൾ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാണ് പല പദ്ധതികളും അവർ കൊണ്ടുവന്നത്. പക്ഷേ ആ പദ്ധതികളുടെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ അവസ്ഥ എന്താണ്? റെഡ് ഫോർട്ടിൽ ചെങ്കോട്ടയിൽ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യദിനത്തോടനുബന്ധിച്ച് ഘോരഘോരം പ്രസംഗിക്കുന്ന പ്രധാനമന്ത്രി ഈ പദ്ധതികളെക്കുറിച്ച് എന്താണ് മിണ്ടാത്തത്? ചോദ്യമാണ് പരകാലപ്രഭാകരൻ്റെ. അദ്ദേഹം പറയുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് ഇംപ്ലിമെൻ്റ് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഈ പദ്ധതികൾ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ മുഖം മാറ്റിയേനെ. പക്ഷേ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് ചെയ്തില്ല. അതിന് പകരം PR വേണ്ടി മാത്രമാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഫണ്ട് വകമാറ്റി ഉപയോഗിച്ചതെന്നും അദ്ദേഹം വ്യക്തമായി തന്നെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്.
Now, this country 14-15 was under a spell because very cleverly a lot of programs were launched and a lot of programs were launched with a huge hype. Make in India, Skill India, Stand Up India, Khelo India. Now it has come to Shut Up India. These programs, Khelo India, Make in India, Skill India, these programs really had the potential to transform this country, provided they were implemented with dedication and with honesty. Sir, I can tell you that I have worked hard in looking at the fate of these programs by going into the annual reports of all the ministries which are in charge of these programs. No annual report tells you anything about these programs and their progress. What is the outlay? How many people were trained? How many people were benefited? How many people had been brought into the program? How many people were touched by these programs? Nothing. And I can tell you one thing, that even if there is a small achievement anywhere in these programs, this government would have made a huge noise about it, because this government is a great expert in making a huge noise about even a small thing. But Did anybody hear the Prime Minister talk about any of these programs from the Red Fort? No. Did anybody hear any minister talking about these programs in the Parliament? No. They don't talk about it because there is nothing. Once the program is launched with a huge fanfare and huge advertisement, huge billboards, huge cutouts, once the headlines are managed, then the programs are forgotten. I can tell you one concrete example of a program called Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, of which the fund that was allocated, the resources that were allocated, the budget that was allocated to this fund, 79.8% of that fund was spent on advertisements and hoardings. I don't have to tell you with whose picture. They're all over. In petrol pumps, on the highways, in the railway stations. They used to be everywhere. But nearly 80% of the fund was for advertisement. That is the kind of dedication that this government has for any program that was launched, which had the transforming potential. You get all these photo opportunities of ministers and the Prime Minister, taking the rubbish from the beach of Mahabalipuram or from the, some streets here and there with a 5-camera setup. That is the only thing that we get out of it. And what is happening to the democratic process in our country?